good, guys? I want to make a quick video, man. Felt like I was compelled to kind of clear this up, man, because a lot of my peoples that follow me, um, you know, when I make some videos about Errol Spence, even when some people leave comments that really are riding for Bud, there's a misconception that a lot of us are that we hate Errol Spence. We hating on Errol. But let me back up a bit, and I think I know the reason why a lot of people think people don't like Errol Spence. And don't get me wrong, there are people that really don't like Errol Spence. But like I said, earlier, I have no issue with Errol. Like, I don't dislike him at all. There's a lot of things I like about Errol. I think he's an excellent fighter. There's a lot of other things outside of the ring I like about Errol. But here's the reasons why a lot of people think that Errol Spence was ducking Bud. And a lot of these are credible reasons. It's not that people just coming out just picking on Errol Spence. It's not like that, man. I think some of the reasons, like, for instance, I don't think Errol showed the same energy towards Bud that he showed to Keith Thurman. You know how Errol was chasing after Keith when Keith Thurman was the champ before Errol was. And Keith had belts. Terrence Crawford had got his belt. He told Terrence before he got his belt, when you get a belt, see me. And then Errol got the belt. Then Terrence Crawford got the belt. And then it was other stuff. It was like he was kicking the can down the road. And people were blaming Bob Arum. Other people were blaming Al Heyman. People blaming Terrence Crawford. It was blaming Errol Spence. And some of it was indeed Bob Arum. And just he came out and said certain things that, Bud, he's too expensive and all this other bullshit. But it still was the PBC dude's fault too for not even trying. There's this other thing that people like to say to Errol Spence, like the people that support Errol or the fanboys, they say, well, Errol offered Bud 60-40. No, he didn't. 60-40, that's just him. That's just Errol just throwing numbers out. Nobody ever sat down at a table. Bob, Al Heyman, Errol, Terrence, nobody sat down and broke down any numbers. There was never any crunching of numbers. And Al and Errol officially offered Bud 60-40 and Bud walked away from it. That never happened. So that's just hearsay. That's totally different from Bud getting up. That was the excuse people use to say that Bud was ducking Errol. And that's where a lot of this stuff comes from, man. There's nobody just like outright picking on Errol Spence. A lot of this is credible. And then I'll be honest, I'll be fair. When Errol said, I'll just go the easy route when it came to, fighting Sean, I honestly don't think Errol meant, Sean is the easier fight. I think he meant like it was easier to make the fight with Sean Porter. That could have been the case. But then now that, it comes out that it's been confirmed that PBC dudes can make the fight if the fighters want the fight, I think that kind of goes out the window in a way too. But at a time, I was thinking maybe he meant it was easier to make it when you talk about the side of the street stuff. But then now it comes out that there is no such thing as the side of the street. Like, there are, like, they got fighters in this stable and over here, but anybody can walk on any side of the street anytime they fucking feel like it, man. That's pretty much what has been really confirmed. So that kind of shut that down right there. So that's where a lot of the talks of Errol Spence ducking Terrence Crawford comes from. It's not just people making this stuff up. And then a lot of times when Terrence Crawford came, I think he came to one of Errol Spence fights. And they say, so why is Errol here? And they say, oh, Terrence Crawford is here. And then Bud was like, why he at my fight for? Stuff like that. So everybody looking at him like, what you mean? Like, why is he at your fight? He's supposed to be at your fight. So that's where all of this comes from. It's not just all out hate on Errol Spence. It's not. But it's you gotta acknowledge them facts. Like, okay, Keith Thurman, he had the belts. He was pushing and pressing Keith Thurman, running after him damn near. But when Terrence Crawford moved up and got the belt from Jeff Horn, Errol wasn't as aggressive against Bud that he was against, like, Keith Thurman. So that's where a lot of this come from, man. I just wanted to clear that up because it's a lot of people up here that says this stuff about Errol Spence and they get called haters, and it's not. That's not true. It's if Bud was in that position, people would be saying the same thing about Bud. You know, so it's not just like people going after Errol Spence. It's just the actions. If it was the same thing, because people was looking at it like, oh, he don't want to fight because they asking him about the fight. He like, oh, I just want to enjoy my children. I want to enjoy my he's seemed a little passive when it came to when people asked him questions about Terrence Crawford. But he was more direct when it comes to like Sean Porter or when it came to like Keith Thurman or somebody like that, or Manny Pacquiao or something. He was a little bit more direct, So that's where a lot of this stems from, So I just wanted to clear that up, man. I'm about to get up off this. Dude, a little tired. Catch y'all later. It's Rebel Life Boxing. Like this video, please, and subscribe and share and comment, man. I want to know you guys' feedback. I love the feedback I get, man. So I'm going to see y'all on the next one. And I'm off this.